So about 6 weeks ago, I finally decided to delete Instagram off my phone. I was just feeling so distracted, anxious, stressed, but also feeling like I was procrastinating, but I was almost like kept from doing the work that I knew needed to be done because I was just seeking this really easy escape route, and I was so frustrated with myself. And it was like I was just habit scrolling, and it just, no amount of willpower could change it. I tried everything. Downloaded Opal app, I like set all my app limits. There's like a snooze button, there's also like a you can't go in there at all button. It just didn't work. Like I would override the snooze, and it was just really annoying. So it got to the point where it was so bad that I had to change my environment. So deleted it, and now it's been 6 weeks, and I want to take you through the journey of just like how the first days were, and then the first weeks, where I'm at now, and whether or not I'm deciding to go back and reinstall it on my phone, or if I'm going to keep it off my phone for the duration of this trip.
So here are a few clips from that first week where you can see the very quick progression from having FOMO to shifting out of that fairly quickly.
Okay, so a little bit about why this is really important to me and what it is that I'm seeking and what I'm hoping to get out of it. So I'm somebody who really values freedom, and it got to a point where I just felt like I didn't really have freedom over my attention, even though you could say, Emily, it's just willpower, right? And I've, tried to say that to myself many times. Oh, Emily, you're just not self-disciplined enough, you don't have enough willpower, and all these things. But I find that in the end, sometimes it's easier to change our environment than it is to rely on willpower. And so this is kind of what I'm doing for myself. I've changed my environment. It's not even there on my phone. If I want to check some messages, which I do from time to time on my laptop, then it's a very different experience. Like I'm very intentional about going on my laptop, typing it in. I can't, upload stories or anything like that. I'm just kind of going into my messages and just responding as if like almost like an email. So that's a very different experience. I don't find myself drawn into the watch everybody's stories sort of thing. And the other thing that's really important to me is like self-mastery over my mind and just reclaiming my attention back. I felt really cluttered. I felt really like I had a lot of external input. My focus was scattered. I was really distracted. I was really quite like anxious as well, not where I want to be. And so that's my goal, is to get to a point where I feel like I don't need to seek escape through an app, and to feel more spacious in my mind, to feel more uncluttered and just more space to think, to focus, to be present and be aware. I think that those are the two key words, like being present, being aware of where my attention is going, because that's really the only thing we have control over. And it's so ironic because I was reflecting on this. I was like, wow, we try to control everything else. We try to control other people, we try to control situations, when really none of those things are within our control. But the only thing that we actually have control over, which is our attention, we don't try to control it. We just give it away willy-nilly to these apps, to these tech companies, and it's the one thing that we actually have control over. And to not have, I think, control over our attention is to lose autonomy over our freedom. So this is sort of my way of reclaiming back my freedom, reclaiming back my attention and my autonomy over my time, my awareness, let's say, my energy. So this is really the motivation behind it. I already, like 6 weeks later, I already feel so much better, so much more space. and peace and unclutteredness and focus, but it definitely wasn't easy.
As you can see, by the end of the first week, I had mostly accepted and was super happy to be off the app. And I was so in the present, just enjoying the last weeks with my friends who visited me and hosting beach gatherings before my long 7 weeks away. So, as I was boarding my flight from Lisbon to Florence, I had this fleeting moment of weakness where I almost re-downloaded the app on my phone because I thought, it would be so nice to share my travels in Florence, in Italy, and I truly was so close to doing that. But what stopped me was that I just enjoyed being in the present so much that I really didn't want to pull myself out of this peaceful state of mind just yet. I am so glad I kept it off while I was in Florence because it allowed me to experience the city so differently. And I realized that I also take content very differently. Instead of vertical shots of sort of random things that don't actually tell a story, I realized that I'm taking much more horizontal shots of people, of beautiful moments that have this sort of cinematic visual storytelling vibe about it. And yeah, being in Florence is such a poetic city. Summer evenings look like meeting in the local piazza for aperitivo, meeting friends and having deep conversations about life. It looks like homemade dinner platter and wine atop your friend's rooftop terrace, overlooking the Palazzo Pitti and the Duomo, with the sun setting over the Tuscan hillside, silhouetting the cypress and stone pine trees, the terracotta rooftops and the towers of the Chiesi. It looks like stopping on the Ponte Vecchio and allowing yourself to be mesmerized by the musicians performing their art. I love my slow mornings at the local cafes. One of my favorite is called Sforno, and I always get a cafe con latte with the mascarpone touch of blueberry. I love to sit there journaling, reflecting, touching in with friends again over voice message, wandering the street markets and handmade jewelry, passing by artists with their easels, gently and intentionally adding fine strokes to their large oil painting canvases. Florence and the people of Florence are such a vibe. They live life with so much art and magic. And I think their secret is really just being in the present, never in a rush, always on time. And it makes me realize how unpresent I was before. The second time when I almost caved was when I published the YouTube video with Mishka about adopting her, and I was so proud of that and really wanted to share it on Instagram with my friends and just touch back in with some people, my DMs. So I decided to re-download it again for just a day. However, I was not expecting to be sucked back in so quickly into the vortex of people's lives, their stories and silly memes. I immediately felt so distracted and a little bit just swept away by the algorithm. And I had originally wanted to smash out some client work while I was there. And the hour just flew by so quickly. And I was just on Instagram and I was like, I hate this, right? Because I felt like I wasn't present. I felt like the things that I wanted to do, I didn't get done. It was almost like I just lost control of my attention and my awareness. What I realized is that my mindset, my willpower isn't strong enough, and that ultimately it's just much easier to change my environment, aka delete it off my phone so it's not within reach, than it is to rely on willpower.
So where to from here? I have consciously decided that I'm going to keep the app off my phone for now, but once a week, on the day where I upload a YouTube video, I am allowed to download it back on my phone, so I get to come in once a week, and it's also sort of like a mini dopamine hit incentive for me to get these YouTube videos out for you and have a way of like diving back into your worlds to connect with you guys on there. But at the same time, I'm really consciously putting my energy, time, and resources into creating longer form content like these. I just enjoy it. I get to go deeper. I get to actually create something and share something that feels purposeful for me, that I am excited to share with you guys. So this is for now where I'm at, and I'm curious if I will really stick to like downloading it for just one day and then at the end of the day taking it back off my phone. I'm very curious, so we will see. If you want to stay updated, stay tuned how that goes, then come back next week for an update on that. And in the meantime, so next few videos will be probably on Thailand, Koh Samui, hooning around the islands. So if you want to stay up to date, follow along, hit that subscribe button. I am so happy to have you in my world, growing this channel. I have been wanted to do travel vlogs for the longest time, and it feels just really, I feel really grateful to be in a space where I can travel, I can run my business on the side, create these videos for you, and be doing this. So leave a comment below if you had any takeaways from this, if you are thinking about trying this yourself, and I will see you